A summer sunrise reveals yet another stunning day on Puget Sound, but the calm can be misleading. In the backyards of 3 homes along Camano Island's northern edge, a young bald eagle roams, its struggle to survive front and center. Had this eaglet fallen out of its nest? Was it injured? Was it about to fly? At this point, the answers were unknown. Hours passed. Then, after one day gave way to the next, the eaglet remained.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. I mean, an eagle in trouble, I was going to go help.
Jeff Butts of Edmonds learned about the eaglet during a phone call. He's been photographing bald eagles for years and has a website aimed at raising awareness about America's national bird. Butts feared the eaglet had fallen out of its nest before it was ready to fly.
So obviously coming out of the nest too soon is a very big problem because, as you'll see in the video, it's totally vulnerable. It can't get away from anything. It has nowhere to go. It can't feed itself.
As he shot this video, Butts looked for signs of an injury and watched to see if the bird's parents were feeding it. They were. Butts reached out for help. He made calls to a wildlife rescue center.
And we kept getting an answering machine.
He also called bald eagle experts, one advising him not to pick up the eaglet as that would be against the law, a felony. Then, at this moment, something unexpected.
The eaglet was on a stump looking down at Dad because Dad was going to be bringing home dinner, and Mom was up in the tree right above him, guarding him. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this osprey comes and starts dive bombing the female eagle in the tree. And starts making all this noise and commotion. It kind of freaked the young eaglet out, and it started running for the cover of the woods. And that's when I first noticed how weak it was, because it would take a few steps, kind of stop, take a few more steps, and then when it got to a tree, it tried to actually climb up the tree with its talons, which they're not designed to climb trees, so he just got up about 3 feet and then slid back down. But he instinctually knew he needed to get up in the tree to be safe.
Butts called an eagle expert in British Columbia.
On the way there, I had called David Hancock to get his advice because he's been working with eagles for 50 years. So he gave me some advice on what to do.
What was the advice?
He said that I need to try to rush the eagle and try to get it to fly so it would fly up into a tree where it's safe. And so that does 2 things. Once it'll make it safe, or it'll identify that it can't fly, and if it can't fly, then it's vulnerable and needs to be rescued.
So, Butts asked the man who lives here to approach the bird.
I had him go up to the eagle like David Hancock had explained to me.
Come on, fly, baby. Come on. Fly, sweetie. Come on, there you go. There you go.
And it just ran. If it would have flown, if it could have flown, it would at that point.
More than ever, it seemed this eagle had left the nest before it could fly.
What happens with the eagles, their feathers fill with blood, and while they're growing. And then right before they're ready to fledge, the blood drains out of the feathers and makes them light so they can fly. And that was this eaglet's problem, is the blood was still in the feathers, so it had no chance to fly.
One of Butts' contacts advised him to call 911. He did, and was told a deputy would respond.
And he came out and he described that he wasn't equipped to collect an eagle, that was a specialty thing, and they'd have to get someone else, and they probably wouldn't make it till the following morning.
Butts spent the night here in the landowner's motorhome.
And so that was kind of eased my mind that I could stay there and be there and try to help.
The eaglet still nearby.
Oh yeah, it was probably 200 feet from where I spend the night, because I could see it. It picked a little corner of an open field with its back against the bluff, because nothing could come up the bluff and get it, so it was guarding against the open field, and it was kind of in the corner where it was screened by the tall grass.
The night brought new concerns.
Well, yeah, because I knew there were coyotes in the area, and with it being out in the open field like that, if the coyotes got anywhere near it, it was not going to make it. And I left the door open, so just the screen door was closed, so I could, I had a big flashlight, so if I heard any coyotes or heard anything, I could be right there to try to, scare them away and protect the eagle.
Finally, a restless night came to an end.
Yeah, it had rained that night, and the wind was blowing, and it was a bright, sunny morning, and so I looked out, I got my camera and I zoomed in where I thought the eagle was, and I could see its silhouette through the tall grass, and so I knew it was still there, and then I went out and got a little closer and got a little better shot, and there was a big sense of relief at that point, because I knew that they were coming to rescue it sometime in the morning. The adult had just brought some food and fed it, so I saw that as a good sign, and he was eating again. And so I was just trying to keep my distance, not trying to bother it. And then all of a sudden, the game warden walks up, and he has a big fishing net in his hand, and he goes, "Where's the eagle?" And, "Oh, it's over there." And he just walked right by me, and so I just followed him, and knowing that he wasn't going to have too much trouble, because this eagle was pretty weak.
We will take him to Sarvey.
Okay.
And let them raise him, and hopefully when he's fledged, when he can fly, we can bring him back here. But
right.
I don't know it's critical, but we'll let the rehab experts make that decision.
They usually try to do that.
Yeah, when they can.
Right.
So, but yeah, you see this, he's still got the down on him here.
Right.
So you're right, he just came out of the nest too soon. Whether the wind blew him out or he got adventurous. Take it easy, buddy. And the inglamorous way to get caught. What's the best way to do it without hurting him?
Right.
So did you feed him something? Or?
No, the parents have been feeding him.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah, given if there was lack of no other predators out here, we could probably just let him go and he'd be fine. But
yeah, well, the coyotes were within a half-mile last night.
Yeah, no, I think we're better off taking him to a rehab center and let them work on him. So.
The state fish and wildlife officer would take the bird to the Sarvey Wildlife Rescue Center in Arlington. In the days that followed, word came that the eaglet was severely underweight and that it was having difficulty digesting its food.
When I called Sarvey, they said that they weren't confident yet that it was going to make it. So I was surprised that it was in that, they said it was really emaciated. So I guess I was a little surprised that it was that bad off.
Butts considered what the eagle might have endured just prior to its discovery on top of the bluff.
I thought about where the nest is. The nest is like a lot of eagles' nests, right over the bluff, and right below it is thick brush on the bank. So the eaglet probably fell down in that thick brush, and so probably had a considerable effort to get up to the flat area, to where up into the field on the top of the bluff where his parents could see it and thus feed him. So based on the fact that he's so emaciated, and I saw the parents feeding him, I'm thinking he at least had a couple days, maybe more, where he didn't get any food.
A week after this interview, a report came that despite great care and effort from people at the Wildlife Center, the eaglet died. A sad ending, but one remindful of something Butts had shared earlier.
Well, I've learned that only about 50% of eaglets survive their first year, and less than 20% of those survive to be adults at 5 years.
Butts now hopes that by shining a light on one eagle's short life, more people will come to appreciate and understand the bald eagle, that they'll consider this majestic bird's place within a delicate ecosystem, where everything from eagles to salmon, from owls to sand sharks, and osprey is intrinsically connected.